Hello and welcome to Real Combat
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello and welcome to Real Combat Media. I'm your host, Krysti Rosario. Welcome today. This is episode number 12. It is my debut, but for Real Combat Media, it's number 12. If you'd like to find us on Twitter, go to @RealCombatMedia. On Facebook, just type in your search bar, realcombatmedia.com. And the website is www.realcombatmedia.com. I thought I was here with my co-host, but I see that he disappeared again. Switchboard issues. My co-host he will be back, the boxing prophet, Mr. Richard Solomon. And we have stellar guests today. I'm so excited. We're going to talk to Orlando Cruz, fighter from Puerto Rico. We have two extraordinary trainers. We have Ben Lira from South Amani coming on, and Abel Sanchez from Big Bear. And both of them, between the two of them, I think they've been training probably for about 100 years, between the two of them. So don't tell them I said that. And looking forward to having a wonderful show today. And I'm excited. I just wish I knew what happened to our boxing prophet. Maybe he's back. Let me see. Richard, are you there, our boxing prophet?
I am here, and I'm looking forward to a great show.
Good. This is the boxing prophet, Richard Solomon. He's a veteran. He's been on the show for, 3 times?
Yes, this will be, I believe, my 4th appearance on the show.
The 4th. So he is a veteran. This is my pro debut, so hopefully we're going to have a knockout today. What do you think, Richard?
I think it's going to exceed expectations and be one heck of a show that'll have the millions of people all over the Blog Talk Nation talking about us.
Yes, I'm excited. And you can also call in. You can call at 347-324-5998. And again, if you'd like to see us on Twitter at Real Combat Media or Facebook, realcombatmedia.com. And besides having great guests, we're going to talk about, of course, Mayweather Guerrero, Mares Ponce de Leon, Santa Cruz and Munoz, and Rosario and Love. And you could share with us what you guys think of the fights, if you thought they went the right way, or if they were exciting. Some of you real hardcore boxing fans probably really appreciated the spectacular boxing that we saw this weekend. We're also going to touch on Ricky Burns and Jose Gonzalez, who's boxing on the 11th of this month. And just want to let you know that we had a fight scheduled for the 25th with Butte and Pascal, and that has been canceled. Butte hurt his hand, so they are going to reschedule hopefully soon. Hopefully it's not a bad hurt. You know, when you hurt your hand in your boxing, that's not a good thing. So right now, you still there, Boxing Prophet?
I'm with you.
You're with me. All right, our first guest is going to be none other than Orlando Cruz. We just have to get Orlando on the phone to see if he's ready to talk to us. Why don't I make a call and get Orlando? Sorry for the silence. Prophet, you can prophesize a little if you want when I'm making this call. I know you had your predictions.
Well, we're gonna talk a little bit later on in the show about the pay-per-view event that took place this past Saturday night with Floyd Money Mayweather putting on a great display and scoring an easy unanimous decision over Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Abner Morris, who put together a very, very impressive performance, a performance that I think would impress hardcore boxing fans all across the country. If Abner Morris, even going into this fight, he was on my pound-for-pound list, my top 10 pound-for-pound list, and for the naysayers who thought that Abner Morris didn't belong in the same ring with the likes of a Nonito Donaire, now what do you think? Now that Abner Morris put together this electrifying performance, certainly cracks hardcore boxing fans' top 10 pound-for-pound list. He had a very, very controversial decision with Rosario and Love. I'd love to see how boxing fans scored that fight. Very tough fight to score. I don't think it was a robbery either way, although one of the judges screwed it up on his scorecard. And then finally,
are you there, Boxing Prophet?
I'm here.
All right. Can you don't forget where you left off, okay? Because I know people want to hear from you. But right now I have Orlando Cruz on the phone to join us today, which is very exciting. Are you there, Orlando? Hola.
Hola.
Hola from Puerto Rico, huh?
Yeah. Say it again.
You're here from Puerto Rico. You were hard to track down. I thought I had to fly to Puerto Rico to get you.
Yeah.
Hard man to find.
I'm fine. I'm tired. I'm training. I'm just training right now. So the Puerto Rico rainy. It's okay. I'm all ready. I'm all ready for the interview.
Every time I talk to you, you are training. How many times a day do you train?
How many times? In the morning, 5 o'clock a.m. Friday. After in the gym, 3-hour training, 2.5-hour training, and after I'm going to the boxing gym.
And how is the sparring for you in Puerto Rico? Is there a lot of competition to help you get ready for your fights?
Yes. It's 3-4.
3-4.
Yeah.
So you feel like you're in shape, ready to fight anybody?
Yeah, I'm ready. It's concentration, focuses, it's hard training every day and in the morning, and, everything my team support, always. And, I want to shake right now, but my next fight is summer, probably July in Toronto.
July in Toronto. Do you have an opponent yet?
I don't have I don't know my opponent, but probably he's Mexican.
He probably is Mexican. Why? Because all the Mexicans and Mexicanos and the Puerto Ricanos.
Yeah. It's just a real, it's competition. The rival, Mexican, Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? So.
Yes, all the time. That's what you see. It seems like that's what the tickets sell.
I'm sorry, my English is not the best, but I'm trying, okay?
No, you're good. I'm saying.
No, not good. I am nervous.
Sí,
I don't like English,
Muy bien. Muchas gracias por todo, Orlando. We're so happy to have you here. So it's good. It's all good. But you're going to fight in July, and you don't know your opponent. But whatever happened with Mikey Garcia? Aren't you the number one contender?
Yeah, I am number one right now, and Mikey is the champion. And it's a different company, different promoter. Mikey Garcia have the top rank, and I am his all-star boxing. It's a different company, but Mikey now is fighting for Juan Manuel Lopez. He's number 4 in the war. I am number 1, but it's okay. I am focused right now. I'm training for the opportunity. Probably then the next fight. Mikey is I am.
But Orlando, why would he? I just don't understand, because you are always in shape. Every time I see you, you're ready to go. He why would they skip over you for Juan Manuel Lopez, your countryman?
Yeah, it's Juan Manuel Lopez right now is the promoter is top rank, and Mikey same promoter. You know what I mean? And Mikey no interest fighting with me, because I am difficult. I am southpaw. I am very fast. I am is move the ring. I am is intelligent, and Mikey brother is training on Mikey, and he said no, Orlando Cruz is difficult because Orlando is good boxer. Orlando is move the ring, is good at defense, and he's very strong. So he's not scared, but the brother is very intelligent. He's okay. Orlando Cruz, no right now. Orlando Cruz, Juan Manuel Lopez.
So you're saying that taking the fight with Juan Lopez was kind of smarter. Like if you were his promoter, you would say, okay, yeah, let's avoid Orlando Cruz, who's very fast, and let's go to somebody that's a slugger, that's gonna just wanna fight. What do you think? Would you give that advice?
Say it again.
Would you have advised Mikey not to take the fight with you because of that?
Yes, because Mikey is the last moment, the interview. So Mikey is on respect Orlando. Orlando is very good boxer. Orlando very strong, and it's business. So now Mikey, after the Juan Manuel Lopez, Mikey up the weight 130. I am his backhand, the belt. I am for going to the fight, the big time, the big fight for the title.
Yeah.
I am Mikey up after the fight, after the Juan Manuel Lopez, Mikey up the weight 130, and I am number 1, and the belt is backhand, and I can fighting for the belt.
Okay, well, we're going to look forward to seeing that.
It's very difficult. Listen, it's very difficult. The fighting is very, very, very difficult. So, I am my promoter. No, it's different promoter. Mikey is Toran Boaron, and Juan Manuel Lopez same promoter. Toran Boaron. I am is all star to the Zavala. It's different. It's different, and promoter. It's business. It's a lot of money. So. That's okay. My opportunity is coming. my big opportunity is coming.
But Orlando, do you think any of this had to do with you coming out, saying, I'm proud, I'm a gay man, I'm in the fight business? Do you think it works for you or against you in this situation?
It's not my situation. He's my sport. I love it. My company, my family. So I'm very happy. Yes.
But for this, Orlando, for the fight with Mikey Garcia, do you think
yes.
it would have helped, or do you think they had anything to do with thinking about, well, Orlando came out, he's gay? Do you think it matters?
Mikey, I don't know. Mikey, I respect. Mikey, I respect. Mikey, I'm talk with the China, with the newspaper. Mikey's I respect. Orlando is gay. I don't care. Orlando is good boxer. I respect. Mikey is telling me, I respect Orlando. Orlando is good boxer. So it's your life. It's your life. But it's when Orlando is come in the ring, Orlando is different. Orlando is man. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I understand.
Everything Mikey team is respect. Respect my decision, respect my life, and respect my sport, my boss. Yes.
Well, good. I like to hear that. That's important. You have a fan in San Francisco. She's a comedian named Marga Gomez, and she really wanted me to ask you a couple questions. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Don't be scared. It's okay.
Oh my gosh.
She's a friend, Orlando. Don't worry. She wanted to know, has coming out as a gay man, has it changed or affected your relationship with boxing? Has it affected it in any way? Has it changed for you, or just boxing, the same thing, whether you're gay, straight, whatever?
Okay. Whatever, it's straight, gay, whatever.
So boxing is just the same now as before?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. She also wants to know, what are your goals? Do you have any other goals or passions that are not with boxing? Anything? You like to cook? You like to, what other passions do you have?
My passion right now, my family, my boyfriend, is my passion right now. My family, everything, my family be my boyfriend. So I'm very happy. And I am very, 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 very happy right now. We my family accept me, and my boyfriend support me, and and Puerto Rico, I accept my decision, and in the world, yeah, this is my passion.
It sounds like you're happy, and I know you have a wonderful relationship with your mother, listening to you all the time.
Yeah.
She just adores you, huh? You're the love of her life, el amor de vida, huh? She's your love.
Yeah. She's not, my boyfriend is my boyfriend, but he's my best friend, because he support always in my decision, or supporting before, after the ring, and support and my life. He's a good person. I love it. It's my passion, and my family. Everything my family, I accept me. Everything my family is always support me. Everything my family. Oh my God, it's amazing. I love you.
And your mother, you're very close with your mother, huh?
My mother is my best friend. My mother she's the first person talk with my declaration, my decision, my mother, my mother, I cried before, but he said, don't worry, never ignoring you. I'm support. I'm accepting your decision. It's good. My mom is very, very good.
Well, that's beautiful. It's always family comes first. That's the most important for you.
Yeah.
Well, how did you feel the other day when I'm sure you heard Jason Collins, NBA star? Well, how do you feel about him coming out? Very happy,
because me and calling other bosser and to the what looked at the paper, looked at calling, look at me, is oh my God, it's inspiration,
Yes.
So for coming the clothes, it's scared. Probably the other sport is more gay in basketball and boxing and soccer and baseball, whatever. But it's scared because the society, is maybe not set for the decision, maybe a push, maybe ignorant, maybe I forget it, So it's that, but now I support I'm calling, it's unrespect the decision, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful, very beautiful.
So with you, Orlando, and you have Jason Collins, is this going to help just for children that are scared to come out, that are being bullied? Do you think it helps that they can look up at you two men that are in sports that are very macho? Do you think that'll help them?
Yeah, it's, in special my sport. My sport is very macho, But I am a girl, calling a girl, calling is good basketball, calling is amazing, it's good for the sport, basketball, NBA, and I am his bosser, but everything and respect my decision when I'm talk when I am talk to interview, television, newspaper, is respect. I want respect. My decision, my life, my sport, my family, respect. It's important for me, for calling, for the other sport.
Well, it seems like you're getting a lot of respect, and I want to make sure that people know that the 1-347-324-5998, if you'd like to call and speak to Orlando or speak to myself for the Boxing Prophet. Rich is over there. Boxing Prophet, you have any questions for Orlando?
Just a couple. You were as usual, you were brilliant, Krysti, and you kind of asked some of the questions that I wanted to ask. But just to expand on a couple, first, Orlando, growing up in Puerto Rico, I want to know who were some of your heroes growing up. Were you a big Hector Macho Camacho fan, or were you more of a Felix Tito Trinidad fan? Who did you idolize growing up when you were following the sport of boxing?
I love Macho Camacho. Respect Macho Camacho, and I am similar style. Macho Camacho. I respect Free Trinidad. Gomez is but my hero, Benitez. I love him, Benitez, for the big champ in Puerto Rico, for the history and glory in Puerto Rico.
And I also want to congratulate you for coming out and telling the world that you're a proud gamer. It takes a lot of courage to do what you do, and I'm very proud of you. And I just wanted to make a point that, I think Mikey Garcia took the Juan Manuel Lopez fight because on paper, it's the more attractive fight with Lopez being an ex-champion. But actually, styles make fights. And I think your style would be harder for Garcia to figure out. You're more of a boxer with a jab and great foot movement and pretty good defense, whereas Juan Manuel Lopez is more of a slugger. And let's not forget, he has chin issues. He's been dropped a lot in his last couple of fights, losing back-to-back fights to Salido. So I think you would actually give Garcia a tougher fight than would Juan Manuel Lopez. So I thank you for pointing that out. And I think Krysti touched on this a little bit, but when you came out and told the boxing community that you were a gay man, did you do that because you felt it was necessary for your own peace of mind, or did you think at the end of the tunnel you would see more money, more advantages for you, and, to get that national exposure and to fight on TV and basically get bigger paydays?
Juan Lopez, I am angry for look at in Puerto Rico, look the paper, look the television for the fighting Juan Lopez and Mikey Garcia. I am number one. Juan is number 4, and I am before it's angry, but right now no. So Mikey, after the fight of Juan Lopez, Mikey upped the weight and 130, and I am number one. So I am going to for the borough for the champion for the other opponent. I am very concentration for my next fight in July in Toronto, and I respect for to Mikey and Juan Lopez. Good luck, but I am right now focused on my next fight in Toronto. My opportunity is beginning. It's coming. My opportunity, my big opportunity for the belt for the champion. It's my dreams. It's my first dream. Is champion for the war for Puerto Rico.
That is an.
Well, I hope.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Prophet. We have a call too, so go ahead.
My last question for you is not as a fighter, but as a boxing fan. What is your dream fight? What fight would you like to see happen, maybe over the next year or so, that you think would revolutionize the sport of boxing?
Did we lose Orlando?
I don't know.
Oh, who's here? Marga?
This is Marga.
Hi, Marga. I think it's just you and I now. I think we lost Orlando. Let me tell everybody who you are, okay?
Oh, okay.
Introduce yourself.
This is Marga Gomez, and fan of Orlando. Don't really know too much about boxing, but just heard about him last year, and now I'm going to be a big boxing fan because of Orlando.
That is awesome. We have to get him back so you can tell him. I don't know what happened. Is that you, Rich? Is that you?
Yes.
I lost two people. Did you scare him off with your question? What happened, Prophet?
Oh, it was wild. I think we both got disconnected at the same time.
All right, let's call him back. We have Marga Gomez that wants to talk over here, and she is a comedian in San Francisco. Uh-oh. Are we all here? All right.
Marga's here, but...
here. All right, let's...
That's the caller, yeah.
I know. Let's call Orlando back and see what happened. It's the switchboard. We'll see.
Where is he now?
Puerto Rico.
Ah, PR,
Boricua, see. So why don't you tell us, you have any comedy coming up in San Francisco?
Yes, I do. I produce a comedy showcase every Thursday at a bar called Esta Noche, and it's free, and it's really fun. It's going on my second year of these shows.
Hello.
Hi, Orlando. Wait,
I'm sorry. Is that you heard me?
Yes. Just 1 second. Marga's going to finish.
I'm sorry. The phone is low battery right now.
Oh, okay, Marga. Quick, ask the question. We have Marga Gomez here for you. So, what's your question?
Hi, Orlando. It's Marga Gomez from San Francisco. You should be here.
Hi.
You should come to San Francisco. Everybody wants to see you. Orlando, big inspiration. I'm Puerto Rican and gay, and but I don't box. But I wanted to know, what kind of music do you play when you work out? What's your favorite? What gets you, right where you want to be?
It's my favorite. I love Puerto Rico, but it's my favorite. Different sports, soccer, volleyball,
No, she was saying, Orlando, she said música.
Música, yeah, it's music, pop music, reggaeton, and R&B, hip hop, yeah.
Okay, one more question. When you have the chance to pig out, comer mucho, what do you like? What's your favorite junk food?
I love Italian and Latin food. I love it. Especially my mom is the best cooking. Yeah, the best.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Thanks, Orlando. You rock.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Marga,
you so
for
much.
calling.
Bye,
Thank you.
show.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Orlando, bye, Marga. Orlando, are you still there?
Yeah, I am there.
Oh, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Even after I had to chase you down to get you on here.
I'm trying. My English is the best, but I'm trying, you know.
Emma, I'm so happy. Thank you. We wish you the best of luck for you. Buena suerte.
When you want, call me, okay?
I will. I'm going to come to your mama can cook me some food, okay?
I will. Thank you.
Arroz con
Thank
gandules.
you.
All right. Muchas gracias. Bye.
Bye. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Well, Prophet, that was quite an interview.
It's a pleasure to have him on the show, and he's a very, very likable guy, a very good person. He's very easy to root for, and assuming Mikey Garcia, regardless of who wins that fight, whether it's Mikey Garcia or whether it's Juan Manuel Lopez, they both have their work cut out for them when they face Orlando Cruz for the title. Yeah,
I think they do, especially now. You know, he fought, and I was going to ask this, and then we just ran out of time, but he fought, Ponce de Leon 3 years ago, and since then he's had 3 knockouts. I mean, I'd like to see them now. What do you think, Prophet?
I think it would be an interesting fight. You know, styles make fights. De Leon does have power in both hands, but as he proved against Abner Mares, he is kind of one-dimensional, doesn't establish the jab, just comes forward and really doesn't even throw punches and bunches. He looks to land that one big knockout blow. And like I said before, styles do make fights. So I think with Orlando Cruz's educated jab, his ring generalship and tremendous defense, and his hand speed, which seems to improve with every fight, I think he could handle a Ponce de Leon. It would be a very entertaining fight.
I agree. I'd like to see that. I think Orlando, for everything he's gone through and everything, and what a fight. But you know what? I'm going to take a commercial break right now, and then we're going to call Ben Lira right after. So will you hold on, Prophet?
Absolutely.
Don't hang up. And everybody else, if you want to call in, please feel free to call. It would be fantastic. Number is 347-324-5998. You can visit us on Twitter and follow us at Real Combat Media, or go to Facebook, realcombatmedia.com in the search bar, and we're at www.realcombatmedia.com. And please stay tuned because we have Ben Lira and then Abel Sanchez to come on, and we are having fun today. So hold on for the commercial break.
This is Real Combat Media Radio. Check us out at realcombatmedia.com. While you're there, check out the Feed the Poor link on the bottom of every article, and you can send a donation if you're interested. That is, once again, on the bottom of every article as well as on the top of the website. If you are an MMA, boxing, or fitness business and interested in sponsoring our website or radio podcast, send us an email. Advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Once again, that is advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Make sure to check out the Real Combat Media MMA and boxing store at the top of the menu at realcombatmedia.com. We carry a collection of products. We have the Cardio Mask, which is excellent for all fighters, endurance athletes, and serious fitness enthusiasts. Once you are in the Real Combat Media store, click on the banner on that page. We also carry Alpha Brain. Alpha Brain is a great and natural brain neurotransmitters and helps you think more clearly, which improves brain function. You can also purchase the world's healthiest plant protein, which comes from hemp. There are many other products online on the online store, and click on the On It banner at the Real Combat Media store, and you can purchase Alpha Brain and other health products. Use the discount code Real Combat Media, and you will receive 10% off at the checkout store on the On It. That is ONNIT on the banner at Real Combat Media store. Buckle up. Here we go. Let's get this show started.
Hello and welcome back to Real Combat Media. I'm your host, Krysti Rosario, with Richard, the boxing prophet Solomon. We're back with you. And I feel bad, Marga Gomez was on, and she was telling us where she is going to be. She's a comedian up there, very well known, great comedy, and she's in San Francisco. So please check her out on Facebook. I know she has a Facebook, but check her out if you're in the area. She's such a nice person. She sent me this cute little magnet years ago, and I still have it on my refrigerator. So I appreciate her calling. And the phone number here is 347-324-5998. And you can Twitter at Real Combat Media, or on Facebook, just in the search bar, put realcombatmedia.com. And you can go to www.realcombatmedia.com. And I also want to tell you, if you're in the Los Angeles area, I've been taking, for boxing, I go to South El Monte, but for Krav Maga, which is Israeli self-defense, you can do MMA, Kali, there's stick fighting, or Muay Thai. Great place called Elite Training Center. You can get more information on elitetrainingcenter.net in Redondo Beach. They're fantastic. And you still there, Prophet?
I'm still here.
Okay, because we're going to call Ben now. You ready to speak to Ben?
I'm looking forward to it.
I hope so, because Ben is a great guy. Ben Lira, we're going to give him a call, talk to him. This show is just zooming by. What do you think, Prophet?
So far, so good. It's 35 minutes, and it's great. Time goes by quick when you're having fun talking about the sport you love.
That is true, and we do love it, don't we?
We adore it, and let me just say, while you're trying to get Ben on the phone, we're going to talk about the pay-per-view that took place this past weekend. But, there was a championship fight in the heavyweight division that took place, and Mr. Vladimir Klitschko successfully defended his title for the 14th straight time as he scored another dominating performance, a 6-round TKO over Francesco Pineda, an undefeated heavyweight from Italy, dropped him twice, stopped him in the 6th round, and now for the historians who don't like Klitschko and think he's not fan friendly and not on network television, he's only third now behind Joe Louis and Larry Holmes in terms of successful title defenses made by a heavyweight. And it's not Klitschko's fault
Hold the thought, because we want to really get into this. But we have Ben Lira. Are you there?
Yes.
Oh, yay. This is Ben Lira. And, Ben, I want you to meet my co-host, the boxing prophet, Richard Solomon, because Richard was like, I don't know. I don't know how he could not know. You don't know who the most famous person that Ben has trained, Richard?
I'm going back and forth, and I don't know. When you get older, your memory seems to.
Ben, who's the most of everything that you trained? Who do you love the most?
Who do I love the most? That would be a very hard.
How can that be hard? How can that be hard?
Well, I've had a couple of girls. I've had some guys, and one right off the bat, just I can kind of remember gave me the hardest, but eventually they.
She gave you the hardest time.
They gave me the hardest time, but after all that and the difficult times with him, I did have one girl that I thought she would never make it, but all of a sudden she blossomed out and she started doing real well, which was a big surprise. It was almost like it's almost like the sea opened up and everybody got to go through. But that was Krysti Rosario. I did happen to have this young lady that went to the Nationals and did very well. Pretty dangerous right-hand puncher, I want to say, and a good jab.
And who taught me that but you? See, Solomon, now you know who this is, right? But that's not it. That's not it.
I kind of feel like a fighter who was, given a split decision victory, who was hand-wrapped a gift decision victory.
And the only reason that I had a really good jab and right hand was because I had the best teacher, which was Ben Lira. He is not only a boxing coach. There's millions of boxing coaches. Ben is a technician. He is a teacher. And seriously, I won the nationals. We did our couple blue and gold national tournaments, U.S. tournaments. I won. I got silvers. I did very well with Ben. But he has had other great ones, which are, and I know you want to hear about the pro game. So let's listen to Ben, who is now working with Joseph Diaz, who just fought last Friday. What do you think of that, Ben?
Well, I guess it's more of the commitment that individuals make towards whatever sport they get into. And it happens that JoJo falls in that category. And, it's the commitment that you put, will and desire to accomplish, goals that you put forward, and JoJo's done that. I mean, what more can you do as an amateur but to make the Olympic team and go on to the Olympic Games itself?
2012 Olympian. We should just tell him that. 2012 Olympian.
2012 Olympian.
Yep. Joseph Diaz.
And of course, you've pretty well reached every plateau that you could reach as an amateur. And now, that step has been gone through, and now the next one is to achieve the same thing as a professional, and he's in his fourth fight and doing fabulous.
He is. Joseph is just, JoJo is just the all-American, Mexican-American, guy. What a nice person, great fighter. He had an amazing, he's a southpaw, so his left cross just finished his I felt so bad for Eric Gauthier on Friday. But he's doing great. He has 4 fights already. He's won with 2 knockouts. But I also want to talk about the others that you have. We have Alex Luna, who has, tell me if I'm wrong, he's got 13 wins with 9 knockouts, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
Okay. Then we have Ricky Duenas, who has 12 wins, 6 KOs, and, unfortunately he lost with the last one, but took a little break after that.
Last fight.
Right?
Yes, yeah.
Right. But now he's ready.
And now he's in a course to redeem himself, and in a course to, maybe there was, there's mistakes as we go along. There's you might say little curves on the road that you have to be aware of. Bumps, I guess that's the best way. There's bumps in the road, and sometimes we don't realize where they're at and what can happen. But it happened to him from the last fight, which he started very well by putting the guy on the canvas in the first round. But how he did after that was kind of that bump that we have to go through in life. And I think he learned from that, hopefully. He seems like he has, and now you want to redeem yourself, and you want to come back and continue with what your dream is, and where you want it to take you.
Well, I think Ricky
he's very talented. Yeah, he's very talented. So he does have the opportunity to maybe change those little mistakes in that, and go from there.
Well, we wish Ricky the best of luck, and I just want to segue from Ricky to another person who just lost her last fight, who used to train with you consistently, didn't lose a fight. Mariana Juarez didn't lose a fight from 2008 to 2012 with you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's correct. Then she kind of went her way, has gone different places. She just had a fight in Mexico City for the vacant WBC International Super Flyweight title against Rio Togo from Japan. And unfortunately, she got knocked out. Well, not knocked out. She got a TKO.
Got a TKO.
A TKO. So she wasn't knocked out. I know you said that they exchanged hooks, and Rio just got the better of the hooks. Mariana kind of stumbled back, hurt her ankle. But Ben was there, but wasn't training her. So how do you think that affects Mariana? That you're not training her consistently anymore because she's not in Los Angeles anymore.
Well, being that first of all, she's adored by the Mexican fans in Mexico City and throughout Mexico. because they know who Mariana the Barbie is, and that's what she's called, the Barbie. And
right.
And she has a big fan base, just humongous. I was very surprised because I had never worked with her in Mexico City, and seeing the reaction that she was given once she went out to the arena, walking out, by these thousands of people to stand up. The problem there was that she has too many little obstacles as far as involved with television there. She does a sports show that she does on Fridays, and a lot of that takes a lot of her time. So you only get what you put in the sport. So if you put 100%, you're going to get 100%, and vice versa, and whatever it is. If you want to lower that to 50 and 60, I guess that's what you're going to get back. Your talent can only take you so far. Mariana's very talented, of course, being that, as you know, she's had those wins, and she pretty well dominated just about everybody in her division. And but then she got caught in all the other, entertainment part of the
extracurricular activities.
Yeah, and so that said, I think that kind of had something to do with the fact, first of all, that she came in a little heavy, so she had to lose some weight, and again, all the extra activities that she's in. I mean, when you look at the fact that the weigh-in is on Friday and she's doing a TV show till 10:30 that night, and the fight is for the next day, it kind of tells you around about that. You know what? You have to put your priorities in order. I think she's kind of realized that. I guess we all think we're superstars and we can overcome anything. Well, there'll be, again, I'll go back to the bump in the road, and then there's going to be that bump in the road. Sometimes it's kind of a small bump, and then other times it's going to be a humongous drop.
Well, hopefully, then she's smart enough to come back to California, train, if she wants to box, to train with you consistently, because, she can't go through this again. It's not like she's getting any younger, no offense to her, but if she wants to box and she has all those people that love her, then she has to be consistent and train with you again. Wouldn't you think?
Well, being that she started with me, and most of her career was with me, almost 6 years, that chemistry, I guess you want to say, with, one person with the other. Sometimes if it's working and it works, you sort of, the old saying, if it's not broken, you don't have to fix it. But certain little issues were involved in the fact that she just went back to Mexico. She stayed there. She started doing very well. But then again, the discipline factor, the guidance, and things that those extra activities kind of create, the problems that she had now. After the fight, and just about a week ago, was she realized that she needs to come back here. She realized that the only way she can redeem herself is say, I need to come and get back with the person that it started my career. So I definitely want to come back. I definitely want to make a return, and I want to get my title back. So this is her plan, and this is what's going to happen.
Okay, well, good. Well, I wish her the best of luck. Hopefully she will follow that, because I can't see anything that she could do otherwise than that if she wants to still keep fighting. But I want to shift gears for you, because we're going to have Abel Sanchez that's going to come on, and I know that you're close with him and you work with Gennady Golovkin, and I wanted your opinion before he comes on this fighter that you've told me often how spectacular he is.
Without a doubt, probably the most complete fighter in the middleweight division, junior middleweight division, super middleweight division that there is. I had met him in Germany when Samuel Peters fought Klitschko. I've been working with Abel. Unbelievable. Here you got a middleweight champ, WBA middleweight champion of the world, willing to work the corner and be part of just the outside part of it and the corner person. And he did a great job working along for the first time. But my point to that, I got to meet him, and after that, I started getting a little more involved with him. And of course, you said about Abel being one of my proteges, one of my young up and coming fighters as an amateur, and just didn't work for him. But went on to training and and being involved in the other part. I'm talking about Abel.
Yeah, so we're
he's
clear.
done real well.
Abel. That's Ben's young protege with Abel Sanchez. So
and now he's with Glenn. So that put me in with working along with Gennady, because we sort of have the same kind of philosophy, being that so we're going back to why I'm there. I guess it's because of that little chemistry that Abel and I have, and we seem to believe on the same things, and so it really kind of puts the two things together, and again, chemistry sort of kind of.
Chemistry is everything, huh? Like styles make fights, chemistry.
Yeah. But what a great fighter he is. Like I said, overall, probably one of the hardest punchers I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of big punchers, but I can honestly say Superman. He is. I was asked what I thought of him, and I think he had that kind of name before, but it fit him. Well, boy, does that fit him.
Superman.
He's completely a package guy. I can understand why most of the middleweights and them fear him. Promoters, managers have to take a second and a third glance at whether they want to put somebody against him. He's just very committed to the sport, very dedicated to the sport. There is no question in his mind of him being the pound-for-pound best.
Wow. What do you think of that, Prophet? Have anything to say about that, or to ask Ben?
Well, I'm just a huge fan. I agree with Ben wholeheartedly. It's not every day the boxing prophet jumps on a bandwagon. And there have been a lot of contenders over the years that I've quickly dismissed. But Triple G's not one of them. I followed him in the amateurs. He had a great amateur career. He's had two beautiful performances back-to-back, knocking out Proska and Rosario back-to-back. He's going to fight Macklin next. And what I love most about Triple G is that not only can he hit hard, but he uses a jab, which a lot of people think is a lost art in boxing today. And he does it all. He's got pretty damn good defense. He comes forward, and hardcore fans know this, but his hero growing up was none other than Iron Mike Tyson. And Golovkin just has one mission: to seek and destroy, to get his opponent out of there as quickly as he can. He's not going to carry his opponents just to get some rounds in there. He's going to go in there to put the hurt business on someone and get him out of there as quickly as possible. And I think with Sergio Martinez's very unimpressive performance in his last fight, a lot of people, including myself, thought he got a gift over Martin Murray. I had Murray winning that fight in Argentina. It's not a crime to think that Golovkin is the next great fighter at 160 pounds.
So you were saying about Golovkin being the pound for pound probably best at that weight right now. Well, you didn't quite say that, did you, Prophet? But you were also saying how the jab is a dying art, and that is what Ben perfects. How can you say that? What do you think, Ben? Is it really a dying art? form? Yeah.
I think that we all consider it as the key weapon to boxing. The only problem with that is we get too involved in how we want to perform in when it gets into the battle, that we sort of, put that on the side and we go into just trying to overwhelm the guy, or punches and bunches, as they say, and the crowd will get you into that. I think some of the trainers that I see sometimes trainers are more in the fight than the fighter. So when they get into that kind of action, it seems, again, you go back and the jab becomes kind of put back in the back pocket, as you want to say, and we want to prove that we just are devastating. We are just going overwhelmed. But I think it takes somebody that is old school or really has come from that old school of training, that no matter how the heat of the battle gets, no matter how the fans and everything gets into play, they never discard that. It's demanded of them that we never go away from that, because that's what sets everything we're going to want to do. How we're going to fight the fight, what we want to do as the fight goes on. I think that is to me the key weapon that anybody has as a fighter.
Well, that's how I've been taught. What do you think, Rich? Has that been, since you've been taking your boxing lessons, is that what you're taught?
Yeah, and the reason why I think it's a lost art, Andre Ward brought that up on one of the HBO telecasts. I'm from the old school. When I sing, I used to worship guys like Larry Holmes and Thomas Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard, who worked there. Even a guy like Pernell Whitaker in the '90s, who worked everything off of the jab. Now I think if fighters go in there to either knock out the other fighter to get the headlines, or they use it, and I think Roy Jones was the first person to do this. You saw Roy Jones fight as an amateur, and his jab was great in the Olympics. The same thing with Floyd Mayweather. They had great jabs when they fought in the Olympics, but then all of a sudden they get lazy, they get complacent, and they say to themselves, why do I need to throw a jab if my reflexes and my defense are sick and they're out of this world? I could use my jab as a rangefinder, not as a weapon. And other fighters that do that today are guys like Yoka, Gamboa, Adrian Broner, even Rigondeaux. In his breakthrough performance, he dominated Nonito Donaire. The jab wasn't really his effective weapon. It was just landing pot shots on Donaire, using his defense, his sick reflexes. Not enough emphasis was put on the jab, and I think it's just it's just a weapon that isn't really used as much as it should be. And my question to Ben is, how do you explain it? I mean, would you tell guys like a Floyd Mayweather or a Roy Jones, even though you do have sick reflexes, to stop pot shotting the guy and use the jab as a weapon more than a rangefinder?
Ben, did you hear the question?
Sure. I think that what you want to bring into them as they are going through the training processes and all that, of the learning of the game, and going back to the jab, to emphasize the fact that boxing is really, to be really good at it, is about distance and timing. Because no matter what you do, distance and timing is going to do what you want it to do. Distance is how far you will always allow yourself to be and where he's going to be. If you don't all have to do it a certain way, they don't all have to be trained by Ben Lira. They can be whatever. But if they understand those two little premier things, and that's distance and timing the person, whether it's on a counter, whether it's at the time that he dropped a certain hand. But again, you go back to distance, and if then to make the rest of it to be a complete thing is how do you get your distance, but if it isn't with the leading hand, whether you're a right-hander or a left-hander, whatever your leading hand is, that is the one that's going to judge what you want to do. So I think when you get into the phases of the teaching part is emphasize those 2 points. And then as they will get comfortable with that. And as they get comfortable, then they understand that, hey, how far he is, how far do I allow him? It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're going back to the Leonard, Sugar Ray Leonard and the Whitakers and everything. And if you see him fight and you see him, look at the distance they'll allow. They'll always control distance because distance will be timing. And I think that, again, you go back and your leading hand is whether you're right or left. So if you're right-handed, of course, it's your left hand the same. This is where this is how I control what I'm doing. No matter if you got the bull kind of the bull tactics coming at you, again, it's how you find your range. And the hand that's in front is the one that's going to do it. So, yes, I do that. This is something that you have to really emphasize, and it has to be on a daily basis. It has to be daily. You can't just bring it up and then feel that they're going to be comfortable with, because they won't. If they try it once or twice and don't really try to perfect it a little bit, we don't have to completely be perfectionists at it. Sometimes we're not all that. We do have certain instincts. We do have, our thinking is a little different. We're not all the same. But if you kind of make that part of what you play with, then you'll start to get comfortable with it. And I think that's one of the key things. And it goes back to, if that's your lead hand, that's your jabbing hand.
See, Ben is a technician, and he perfects the jab. But, I have to take a commercial. Ben, do you want to stay on when Abel comes? Because
Sure.
He's going to be up next. Okay, so you stay, and then when we start talking about the fights, that'd be great if you could jump in. I'm going to go to a commercial. Hold on a second. Before, I just want to tell you that you can follow us on Twitter at Real Combat Media, on Facebook, realcombatmedia.com, and you can call us at 347-324-5998. Stay tuned for Abel Sanchez coming up next.
This is Real Combat Media Radio. Check us out at realcombatmedia.com. While you're there, check out the Feed the Poor link on the bottom of every article, and you can send a donation if you're interested. That is, once again, on the bottom of every article as well as on the top of the website. If you are an MMA, boxing, or fitness business and interested in sponsoring our website or radio podcast, send us an email. Advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Once again, that is advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Make sure to check out the Real Combat Media MMA and boxing store at the top of the menu at realcombatmedia.com. We carry a collection of products. We have the Cardio Mask, which is excellent for all fighters, endurance athletes, and serious fitness enthusiasts. Once you are in the Real Combat Media store, click on the banner on that page. We also carry Alpha Brain. Alpha Brain is a great and natural product which activates your brain's neurotransmitters and helps you think more clearly, which improves brain function. You can also purchase the world's healthiest plant protein, which many other products online on the online store, and click on the On It banner at the Real Combat Media store, and you can purchase Alpha Brain and other health products. Use the discount code Real Combat Media, and you will receive 10% off at the checkout store on the On It. That is ONNIT on the banner at Real Combat Media store. Buckle up. Here we go. Let's get this show started.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Krysti Rosario at realcombatmedia.com. I'm here with my co-host, Richard, the boxing prophet Solomon. I also have trainers extraordinaire. We still have Ben Lira on the line, and now we have Abel Sanchez. Abel, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Krysti. How are you?
Good. Thank you for calling in. We appreciate it greatly. I didn't quite have to chase you down like Orlando Cruz. I didn't have to go to Big Bear and drag you, but but you were really nice to say yes. I'm happy to have you on the line. Your day going well?
My day's going great. We just got out of the gym, so another good day.
Another good day with, you told me you had 8 fighters right now currently. Is that correct?
In the gym, yes. Uh-huh.
In the gym. So you have some that live up there with you, and then you have some that kind of just come back and forth. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Yes, there's one that lives off in his own house in Big Bear, and there's some that come up for the day. So it's a day to day.
Busy day. Well, thank you for taking the time then. If you have such a busy day, I appreciate it. I want to ask. So, like, whenever I hear about Big Bear, it's always like, Big Bear, it's like so kind of mysterious. What made you decide to go to Big Bear, besides the altitude, and build a training center?
Well, originally it was the altitude, but also the solitude of being up in an area, in a place where there's no distractions for the fighters. To build the training center, I had always worked in a private gym anyway, so I had always wanted to build my own place, and I built it in 2001 and didn't open a gym until 2008. I actually retired from boxing, but 2008 is when we finally had our first camp there, and that was Jose Navarro. I remember Jose and Carlos, right? Carlos and Jose Navarro? Carlos is his brother. Yeah, Carlos is his brother. He was in Vegas at the time. But Jose was fighting at the MGM, and he was fighting Christian Mijares. That's why he came up to camp and used our facility. Oh, very good. And Jose was a former Olympian too, if my memory is correct. Yes, he was, and he fought for the title 4 times. His manager trainer Frank Rivera is an old friend of mine, so that's why he was able to use the gym. Well, very nice. So then you're up there, and I have Ben on the line, and he was telling me that he has known you since you were then that's going to kind of age you. Well, anyways, a long time ago. In my teens, late teens, yes. Late teens, and that you're only 25 now, so it hasn't been that long, right? No, it's only known me about 6-7 years, yes. 6-7 years. We won't say like 40 years, don't worry. But so you. Thanks. So you trained a little bit with Ben as a boxer, I hear. Yes, I was an amateur. He was my coach. I was kickboxing and boxing, and he was my coach. But at the time, I was and still do. I have a construction business, so it was difficult to do both. The boxing business is very jealous. If you don't give it 100%, you're not quite as successful as you could be. So I had to make up my mind which I wanted to do, and at the time I had a young family, so the construction business was a little more lucrative than the amateur boxing. Oh my God, I know exactly what you're saying. I'm an AIBA, an international referee and judge, and they want us to go broke, to try and travel and do everything. They don't want us to take any money, but they can make all the money. So yeah, I understand what you're saying. Definitely. So you've been together, and when you and I were speaking on the phone, what I thought was really interesting, we were talking about kind of like loyalty that certain fighters have, and you were telling me how, well, you don't really blame the fighter. It's everybody else putting little words in their ears. That's why sometimes they go other places. And you mentioned to me that the only person that you have in the corner is Ben. No. Why is that? What is your rationale in that respect? Well, regarding the fighters, I think that a lot of these young men spend a lot of time with us as coaches. And when they're starting out, nobody seems to want to either invest in them or help them. And it's usually the coach that's taking them from place to place, the tournaments, and spending his own money. Once they start being relevant and having or being noticed, they accumulate friends, they accumulate entourages, and it seems that at that point the coach knows very little, and all the friends that don't do the business know more than the coach and know more about the business, what they should be doing, and it's little things that end up stimulating ideas in their mind of where it could be better for them or who can do better for them, but those people were never around when they were needed before. And the reason that I have Ben work in the corner with me and I work in his corners with his fighters is because we need to trust. We need to trust the person that is working with us. We need to trust that they are, first of all, knowledgeable, and Ben, I think, has forgotten more about boxing than a lot of trainers know. It's important that we have a second opinion, a second mind, a good boxing mind beside you when you work in the corner, because everything happens in such a hurry. The fight goes so fast that sometimes you don't catch all the things that you need to catch, and a different perspective is always very important. But that perspective has to be from somebody that you trust, not only boxing-wise, but also as a person and as a human being who's going to tell you exactly what it is that you need to hear and not what you want to hear.
Exactly. That's what you and I were talking about, because we were talking in reference. I won't name any names, Ben, I promise. But, Ben had a fighter, and being close to Ben, training with him, and then just keeping it close with him, when you see how much a really good trainer or coach like you and Ben are, that you put 100% into them, and then one day they decide to just leave because a promoter waves a little candy bar in front of them, I just find it's insulting. And, what do you think, Ben? It's happened to you. How do you get over that and just kind of like move on and be like, whatever?
Well, that's kind of hard, but that you start to realize that that's just part of the business. That just goes with the boxing. And it's a shame that it works that way, but I guess, a lot of businesses can be that way, but in boxing, it's a little harder because as a trainer or teacher, you put a lot of time, and time is money, and so you put all that effort out, and then end up in the short end of it. So in that point, it's a little hard to take, but then you also realize that it goes with boxing. It just does, and again, we go back. It's a shame that happens, but I remember there was an individual that I was training, and I never forget this, of Abel making a comment to this individual and saying, it takes guys like Ben to make guys like you for other people to take.
Oh, and my God, that's perfect.
They are going to go that way. Unfortunately, you can't control that, and you absolutely wish it doesn't. It's not going that way, but it somehow it does, and so you deal with it, and you keep going forward, and you say, okay, and down the line things will change, and as it has now, and I'm really pleased with the fact that Abel and I are very close, and then again, we feed from each other. First of all, we feed from each other. There's no ego thing about this, because I don't have that, and he doesn't. And so I guess that's what makes us work as a team, and the fact that he's, as he says, his comments, as we talk down the line sometimes, is that, you like to be training, you like to do, but there's a business part of it, and you really don't like art, but boxing is a business, and you really don't like getting involved. Your whole thing is about teaching them and this and that, and that's great, but there's this other part of it that's probably just as great and just as important, and he has that. He Abel, you definitely have that. So again, we go back, and it just makes us as a good little team, and again, we just feed from each other, points here and points there, but the thing is, we trust each other, and again, that's probably the ideal.
Well, like you're saying, this day and age, if you have two people that trust each other, forget the rest. If you don't have that trust, which a lot of people are pretty shady, I hate to say, not everybody, but in this business it can be kind of shady, then I think that's very special. And I want to ask, though, from that, because I know you were saying, Abel, how you started training with Ben. what made you want to start boxing? I mean, how did you find Ben? How did that? I know you kickboxed first. How did that segue into boxing?
I actually started kickboxing at about 18. I guess I was about 18 years old. I had a construction business at the same time, but I was training up at a gym in Pasadena, an Ed Parker gym, karate gym. And while training there, I met a young man that was training at Ben's gym, who was doing both. He was also kickboxing, or wanted to start kickboxing because it was the phase that I guess we were going through as young men at that time. And he told me about Ben's gym. And Ben, do you happen to recall his name? It was Danny Miller's, I think, brother-in-law or cousin. He was probably my weight, 160. No. This was gosh, I can't remember his name. But anyway, so he told me about this gym, and I decided to venture with him over to check it out, and started training there. And I actually liked it better than the kickboxing, the boxing part of it, the combat part of it. I guess when at that age, when we're young like that, we have all these hormones going around, just like the MMA phase is going on right now with the youngsters. And I truly enjoyed being in the gym. But unfortunately, that made my business, my construction business, suffer, because it was also a business that was growing, that was trying to grow, I should say, and I would spend too much time at the gym and not enough time on my business, and it was not good. But I enjoyed the company of all the guys that were there. There was a whole group that wanted to train just as hard as I wanted to train, so it was fun. But let me go back to what we were saying about the loyalty and the fighters that decide to jump ship, I guess is a way of putting it. Unfortunately, the ones that lose the most, the coaches lose, but it's that fighter that loses the most because he's going to lose that teacher that's going to allow him to grow as a fighter. Unfortunately for that fighter that you and I about before, that fighter has stopped growing. It stopped growing when he left Ben's gym. Now,
yeah, I agree.
The only one that, or the one that suffers the most, is that fighter because he's no longer on a learning, in a schooling environment. Now he's in a business environment where he has to fight and just fight and survive. So they lose out on what could have been. You know, and if you go back and you research some of Ben's fighters and some of the guys that he's had, and some of the national teams that he's worked with, that's a teacher right there. So if you allow him to do his magic, you're going to be a better fighter. When you leave, you stop growing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point. Hey, Prophet, are you still there?
I'm here.
Another thing I don't think you knew, Ben trained Lupe Aquino, too. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but I remember Lupe Aquino.
What did you say, Abel?
No. I thought you were talking to me, but you're talking to Prophet. Okay.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Ben did train Lupe, yeah.
Lupe, yes. So, yeah, you know, I think that's a shame in this business is, like you're saying, I think Ben can move on, but unfortunately the person we're talking about, the fighter, has suffered. And actually a good person that he is just had bad advice, like you're saying.
Yeah.
So,
yes. But you know, what you just said about Lupe goes back to my point exactly.
yes.
Ben had Lupe, and it took Lupe to a certain point. Lupe was not listening anymore. Lupe was not doing the things that the teacher needed to have done. So Lupe went in a different direction. And I came into Lupe's life about 2 or 3 years later, and I was able to take what Ben had already done and take him to a point where he won a world title. But if it had not been for Ben, like I explained to you before, if it had not been for people like Ben, and Ben just said a little while ago, if it hadn't been people like Ben, people like me that I don't like to train amateurs would not have a job.
Correct.
I don't have the patience. To work with the youngsters that Ben does and teachers like Ben. So when it gets to that point where these guys go on and they have that bad advice, I end up, because I work with pros, I am one of the ones that end up working with the young men that had the bad advice, and hopefully that I can move them in further unfortunately for that other fellow that we're talking about, he wasn't able to learn because he didn't have another teacher that could take him over.
Right. Well, I have a question then from here, Abel. How was it for you being so close to Ben, knowing that Ben took Lupe so far? How was it a strain on your relationship? How did you feel taking him over and getting the world title when Ben went so far with him?
Well, at the time that this happened, I was in San Diego. It was in a different situation. I had retired from the gym for about 6 years or 5 years before I got in contact with Lupe again. So the time between Lupe and myself, he spent a lot of time in San Diego with another coach and with another management team down in San Diego. I just happened to have been working with that team, with that management team, and Lupe came into the picture. But it was quite a number of years between that moment, that time. But I wasn't here in Southern California. I was down in San Diego, so I really didn't. Ben and I we're not working together at that time because I was in San Diego, and that's when I had Terry Norris and Orlando Norris, Jesus Salud. So we were actually quite 3 hours apart. So, but when I moved back to this area and I opened up my gym, then now we're close. Now we started working together again.
Oh, I got you. Did you ever feel, though, that, okay, maybe I should talk to Ben and say, are we cool with this? Is it okay that, I know. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Not really, because I think that Ben had already severed ties with Lupe and Lupe had gone to somebody else before he. If it had been directly after, I guess then it would have. I think I would have felt that way. But since there was already a couple coaches in between and a couple management teams in between, it really wasn't. Actually, by the time I got Lupe, he had already retired. So he told me because he couldn't get along with the people down in San Diego. But then it goes back also to that advice. Lupe, when he was in San Diego, I don't believe it was the people in San Diego that were doing bad for Lupe. It was Lupe doing bad for Lupe because they wanted him to win as much. But I don't think Lupe saw that.
Okay. Did you want to say anything, Ben, on this?
No. I think he's right. I mean, it was, they sort of kind of, again, like what he says, it's that it's that little I guess that little seed that gets planted by people that really don't know the game, and they detour the individual from one place to another, and they do more harm. I feel that, and then what happened was, who knew Lupe better than Abel other than myself? So it really kind of came back to a chemistry. So it really worked out for Lupe, the fact that Abel started doing. And I've never had a problem. I've always had the best for Lupe, as I do now when I talk to him, and I wish him the best. I wished him the best then, because again we go back and you start to realize, man, this is the way the sport is. This just happens to be the way this sport is. So you're there and then you're not, but you go along because we are here because what satisfies us, in my case, is more a business to Abel. In my case, is the satisfaction I get from watching this individual, he or her, start like this and then like that. And I think that's really the real key to what, that we have our purpose in why we're doing what we're doing. And that's it. And in Abel's case, is making the kids, the guys that go there, which they've already been trained by somebody else, but the guidance that he's going to give them and show them where the needs are more important, and Abel has that, and it goes to that. So we understand the game, and we understand what it is, and where the bumps are and stuff like that, and that's what makes us unique. I'm just honored
that you are unique. Both of you two are very unique, and that you could come together, after whatever happens in the 20 years of knowing each other, and be so solid and strong. It's a good example for other people, other coaches, other boxers. But since we don't have that much time, I really want to move on so we can talk about Gennady Golovkin and Matthew Macklin coming up. So, Abel, can you tell us why you put this match together and what you're thinking here?
Well, actually, it's been difficult. It's been difficult to get somebody in the ring with him to fight him. Everybody seems to be busy, or they price themselves out. Fortunately, HBO was able to come up with the plan and the monies to be able to put it together. Lou DiBella and K2 Tom Loffer were able to iron out all the details, and I think we have a match that is going to be memorable. I think that the styles, they're suited for each other. They're going to be right in the middle of the ring, and it's going to be a great fight while it lasts. I'm happy that we finally get somebody in front of Gennady that's going to test him, because he's been tested himself before with Martinez. So I'm happy that the fans are going to get to witness a great match.
Yeah, Gennady will definitely be tested. I know, Prophet, you've had some reservations on this, haven't you? Are we there?
I think actually Macklin will be a good test for Golovkin. He's a fan-friendly fighter who's not afraid to go to war with Golovkin. So I think stylistically it's perfect for Triple G, because he'll have a guy in front of him, like Abel said, that will fight him, that's willing to stand toe-to-toe with him. My question to Abel, and I don't want to put him on the spot, is he had the honor of training one of my personal top 10 favorite fighters of all time in Terrible Terry Norris, Hall of Famer, and a fighter who back in the day ruled the junior middleweight division with an iron fist. And my question is, more victories, obviously, Triple G would be on his way to greatness. Do you think that Triple G can eventually be, achieve the same kind of greatness that Terrible Terry Norris did? Or is Terrible Terry Norris just in a different league in terms of just pure natural talent and ability?
Let me say this, Prophet. And with Ben listening, Ben has been in this business long enough to have seen a lot of great fighters. And I think that he will, not because he works with me and works with Triple G, but because he has witnessed a lot of talent. But Triple G, 9 months, a year ago, telling him that I had the best fighter that I've ever worked with, the best middleweight in the world, and that he was going to be one of those pound-for-pound fighters within a couple of years. And my comment to him was, he is the best fighter right now that I have ever worked with, including Terry Norris. And that was a year and a half ago. This young man has not had the opportunity to showcase those skills because of, 1, the politics of boxing, 2, promoters not working with each other, 3, nobody wanting to get in the ring with them. But this is by far the best fighter, not only technique-wise, punching-wise, but one of the smartest fighters that I've ever worked with. This young man is going to go down as one of the best middleweights ever to lace up the glove. And I'm being biased by saying that, but I truly believe that a year and a half ago, and I believe that today. Now it's just a matter if we can get the guys in the ring with them to prove it. And that's been a real hard struggle for us.
So you have Gennady and Macklin are going to fight. We just want to make sure we tell everybody here on June 29th in Connecticut. Prophet, did you disappear on us?
No, I'm here. I'm still
okay.
Here.
Because you just kind of you went somewhere else. Well, I just wanted to tell you as well, every time I talk about this fighter, who I didn't know who he was, no offense, until Ben kept talking about him, then I started mentioning him and watching him. I mean, I had James Smitty Smith. I was talking to him. He was giving me, we were talking about the interviews. He was giving me some tips. And he's like, he loves this fighter. He thinks he's like great. It seems like everyone is raving about him, but then you're talking about the politics that people, they don't want to get knocked out by a silver medalist from the Olympics. I mean, he's amazing, right?
He is that, and the only thing that will keep him from reaching that greatness, like I said, is that we don't get the fights that we want. Back in when he was fighting, and when Ray Leonard was fighting, and when Tommy Hearns, all those guys fought each other. All those great fighters fought each other, and a loss was not a death sentence. Marvin Hagler fought Hearns and Duran and Leonard. Leonard fought all those guys too. Benitez fought all those guys. We talk about them today, Hall of Fame fighters, and we talk about their greatness only because they prove their greatness with each other and amongst each other. We don't have that today, unfortunately, because of the politics of boxing and because of the arguments in one promoter not working with another promoter. But I think that you guys in the media are helping, but need to make sure that we talk about those things so that maybe they will work with each other. It's not about money. It should be about putting the best fights together.
I agree. What do you think, Prophet? You agree on that one?
I agree 100%. And we have late breaking news here on Real Media Combat Radio. You know, Mr. Sanchez has said that Triple G is the best fighter that he's ever worked with, period. And I said earlier on the program, it's not very often I jump on a bandwagon in terms of fighters with a lot of potential, but I'm all on Triple G's bandwagon. I went to his fight live. I live in New York, so I was at the theater when he systematically destroyed Rosario, and I had nosebleed seats, and you could actually hear the punches from where I was sitting. And he seems to be one of these rare fighters. Triple G does that. He has it all. He has that seek and destroy attitude. He doesn't abandon his jab. He's got great defense, very underrated hand speed, and power in both hands. And he seems to have a pretty good chin. And that's why I'm looking forward because Macklin will land his fair share of punches, and we'll see, if Triple G can take him or not. I think he can, and he should wear down Macklin and stop him. But, more hardcore boxing fans like us should be admonishing, and standing up for Triple G's work, and they should demand that he be shown more on television because he's a fan-friendly fighter with a lot of skills. And at the end of the day, I think he'll overcome boxing politics and he'll overcome all the naysayers and prove Mr. Sanchez's theory correct, that he indeed will go down as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world.
Wow, you heard it here. So wait, we want to talk about more. Abel, can you hold on for a little bit? I just want to go to a commercial. Will you stay with us?
Absolutely.
All right. Ben, will you stay with us too?
Yes, please.
Because you don't have anything else to do, right?
Oh, no. Yeah, right.
Okay. And, of course, Prophet, you'll be here. We're going to go to a commercial. We will be right back with Abel Sanchez, Ben Lira, our co-host, Richard, the Prophet, Boxing Prophet Solomon, and myself, Krysti Rosario. So hold on and don't go anywhere. Thank you.
This is Real Combat Media Radio. Check us out at realcombatmedia.com. While you're there, check out the Feed the Poor link on the bottom of every article, and you can send a donation if you're interested. That is, once again, on the bottom of every article as well as on the top of the website. If you are an MMA business, and interested in sponsoring our website or radio podcast, send us an email. Advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Once again, that is advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Make sure to check out the Real Combat Media MMA and boxing store at the top of the menu at realcombatmedia.com. We carry a collection of products. We have the Cardio Mask, which is excellent for all fighters, endurance athletes, and serious fitness enthusiasts. Once you are in the Real Combat Media store, click on the banner on that page. We also carry Alpha Brain. Alpha Brain is a great and natural product which activates your brain's neurotransmitters and helps you think more clearly, which improves brain function. You can also purchase the world's healthiest plant protein, which comes from hemp. There are many other products online on the online store and click on the On It banner at the Real Combat Media store, and you can purchase Alpha Brain and other health products. Use the discount code Real Combat Media, and you will receive 10% off at the checkout store on the On It. That is ONNIT on the banner at Real Combat Media store. Buckle up. Here we go. Let's get this show started.
Hello and welcome back to Real Combat Media. I'm Krysti Rosario. I am your host today, and we have my co-host, the Boxing Prophet. We also have two extraordinary trainers, coaches, teachers, Abel Sanchez and Ben Lira. And we were just talking about Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, and who's going to be fighting Macklin very soon on June 29th. And we're back, and we want to talk a little bit more about Gennady, but we really have to get into our pay-per-view because the show has just been rolling really fast, and we want to talk about Mayweather and Guerrero, Mares and Ponce de Leon, Santa Cruz and Munoz, Rosario and Love. We want to get into everything, right, Prophet?
Absolutely.
All right, so here we are. So we already know Gennady's fantastic. Abel, do you have any reservations about being with having him fight Macklin at all, or is everything 100% go?
You know, about 6 months ago, Tom Loffa came to me with some names, came to me with a list of 25 names between 154 and 168. Asked me if I had any reservations with any of the names. There were current champions, contenders. I turned nobody down. I approved all 25 names. Just get us in the ring. There's no reservations fighting Macklin. I think the Macklin fight is going to be a great fight for as long as Macklin can stand it. And we're just looking forward to the next one after that. We're training hard. We're not overlooking him, but I believe that Gennady will knock him out.
Gennady will knock him out. Wow. Okay, what do you think, Prophet? What is your prophecy for this fight?
Yeah, I agree with Abel. I think Triple G hits too hard, and like I said before, Macklin is into trench warfare. He'll be right in front of Triple G, doesn't have any foot movement at all. He'll stand and trade with him. I'd be kind of shocked if this fight went past round 7. I like Triple G, relatively easy, one-sided, 7th round TKO victory.
You heard it here. Place your bets. All right. So we're going to have to move on because we want to talk about everybody. Why don't we start with, let's start with the main event so we make sure we have a little time. We only have 20 minutes. I can't believe it. Mayweather and Guerrero. Who would like to go first? Nobody. Don't.
I'll go first. No, I'll go first. I'll start if you don't mind. I thought that Mayweather proved why he is pound for pound the best fighter in the world. He fought a unexpected tactic. I think was I thought that he looked younger than the 36-year-old that he is. Looked a lot better than most people look after a year layoff. Fought a great fight. Was just too much talent for Robert. Robert tried, but was never in the fight, in my opinion.
Okay, what about you, Prophet? What do you think?
Yeah, I thought Mayweather dominated the fight. On my scorecard, he won 10 out of 12 rounds. This was vintage Floyd. I believe, part of the reason why he got back together with his father was that he didn't like the fact that in his last fight against Miguel Cotto, he got hit too often. And I like the fact that at times Floyd did stand flat-footed in the middle of the ring. And sometimes trainers we have on the show will tell you a best offense is a good defense. I didn't like the fact that some fans were booing at the end of the fight. To me, even though it was a great display that was, built on a sublime display of defensive mastery, let's not forget that Floyd did land 60% of his power punches, and I believe Floyd when he said in his post-fight interview that if he didn't hurt his hand, he might have gone for the knockout. I don't know if he would have stopped Guerrero. Guerrero has a pretty damn good chin, but the fact remains, Floyd looked as great as he's done in the past, and a fighter like that comes along once every, 10 years or so. He's great for boxing because he's the ultimate villain, and a lot of people pay, to see him lose, and they go away disappointed. I'm a huge fan of Floyd, and next week on the show, hopefully I'll get a chance to give you my pound-for-pound list because, it's neck and neck. To me, the two best fighters in the world, pound-for-pound, neck and neck right now are Floyd Mayweather and Andre Ward. And with this performance over Guerrero, Floyd is telling Andre Ward, not so fast, buddy. You may be younger than me, but the king is back. So we'll see who's king on my pound-for-pound list on our next show. But very, very impressive performance by Floyd Mayweather last Saturday night.
Floyd Mayweather, the $32 million man. He is elusive and impressive. That's for sure. What do you think, Ben?
Well, kind of similar of what Abel commented on, that he, for his age and what he's the year layoff and that, he really showed that that skill has not gone away. He did handle the fight the way he wanted to. Guerrero is a warrior. It was obvious. He always has been. Talent-wise, well, he lacks that. But the heart and that determination puts him where he's at now, and why he got to where he's at now. But you can't go away from the skill, the knowledge, the confidence level of what Floyd can do is just very special. Even at his age now, it'll take quite a fighter to beat him. So we'll see if the likes of Canelo and them.
How about Amir Khan? Well, what about Amir Khan?
Oh no, Amir Khan. No, I don't. I just, I don't think he's got the chin. I think he lacks a little confidence, even though he tries to display that he doesn't. I think he does. So when you lack certain little qualities as a fighter, those are holes, and when you have certain holes in you, there's a question, and so I think that Amir Khan has that. There's a question, and I will go along with maybe Canelo. Maybe not right now, but I think maybe we let Floyd get a little older, and then maybe there's a possibility. But,
well,
that's my
those
question. Things have to happen, and as far as my pound for pound, we're with our guy. Gennady Golovkin is probably the best there is. He is the best there is.
So he's better than Mayweather.
And I will put him above any of them. Pound for pound, this is the man. This is the man. Again, going back to what Abel commented was, it's a shame that the politics of the game and the way it is now, it keeps him from really showcasing what he can do and where he can be. But eventually, it will all have to take its, it'll take its play. It will get there. The patience has to be there a little bit. They're saying he does great with that. What a great individual he is. Not only being that he's a champion and great individual, very respectful, you find very few. We brought all the other talents that he has, and he does. But the probably the more, to me, that is makes him the greater individual, the greater man, is the respect for the sport, the dedication for the sport, and how he doesn't put himself to be a superstar, but he knows who he is and he knows where he wants to go. But he doesn't show the other part and the humbleness that he brings forward as far as an individual when he's around people, when he's even in the gym. You can't fight a greater guy than him. You just can't.
Oh my gosh!
I've been in the sport a long time.
Ben,
I just cannot see that.
Ben, we were talking about Mayweather and Guerrero, and you are back to Triple G. What is this guy, like a superstar? Oh my God! We understand he's fantastic. I know. I mean, I'm like, I got to go meet this guy. It's like
I only brought that up because we're talking pound for pound, and I have to go away from the deal.
And Amir Khan. And
Sam, I'm sorry, but pound for pound, he's the best.
All right, pound for pound, Triple G is our man. But now, do we really think Canelo will fight, or no, Mayweather or Canelo will fight each other right now? I certainly don't. I think it's going to be just like Pac-Man. I think they kept waiting and waiting in the suspense. I think Canelo is down the road. What do you think, Prophet?
Economically, it doesn't make any sense because there are a couple of points I wanted to make. Point number one, Floyd isn't in any hurry to move back down to 150, to move back up to 154 pounds. He's very willing to stay at 147. Canelo Alvarez just had 40,000 people tune into his fight at the Alamodome, so he doesn't need to move down to welterweight to fight Floyd. And Canelo's fully aware of his leverage. It's a known fact that Guerrero accepted being paid 10% of what Mayweather earned for this past weekend's pay-per-view. Canelo's not going to take 10%. Let Canelo improve his resume. I know he comes off the big victory over Trout, but still Canelo needs to beat a couple of more well-known fighters, and then the public might demand a Floyd-Canelo fight possibly sometime next year. I'm hoping that it materializes, but I think at this stage of his career, Floyd is more interested, and this is going to upset all the haters out there, but I have to be honest, I think Floyd at this stage of his career wants to protect his undefeated record rather than take a calculated risk. So I think you might see him fight Amir Khan or a Danny Garcia or even a Paulie Malignaggi. If he should upset Adrian Broner, I think you'll see Floyd fight those guys before he fights Canelo.
All right, well, let's move on since time is ticking really quickly. What do you think? How about Mares and Ponce de Leon? What about that fight? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first on that. I was very impressed with Mares' performance. I was impressed with the fact that, and some of it had to do probably, I'm just analyzing, that they've worked together in sparring sessions. They've crossed that little path before more than once or twice. And the fact that Mares, I believe, is a little more intelligent when it comes to decision making, that he made Daniel fall into his game as opposed to Mares falling into Daniel's game. He knew when he would kind of lighten him up, and he knew how to turn him off a little bit. And so he would allow him, Ponce, to think that he had the upper hand, and then he would change what he wanted to do because he had that little intelligence, that little smartness, and the better boxing skills. What surprised me on that fight, that he had the power to be able to drop him. Now that was a surprise to me. As far as what I thought of Ponce de Leon or what he would bring, he did. But looking into the fight and looking at how they sort of went about what they wanted to do, brought me into where they've done this before. They've sparred with each other. We're in LA. The gyms are the gyms. There's not that many of them, and most of them are where both parties are at. So before this, they've made that little connection. So again, that's my thought of the fight. That's my evaluation of how I thought Mares kind of overcame whatever Ponce was going to bring to the table.
Okay, so what about you, Prophet? Ben was saying about, did you know that Modest would have the power to drop Ponce de Leon? Did you think that he would?
I think also good speed, good hand speed translates into power, and if you don't see the punches coming, they hurt that much more. I think Morris put on a clinic. I thought he lost only 2 of the 8 rounds. Going into the 9th round, I had Morris ahead pretty easily. And you know, the powers that be reared its ugly head because we were deprived of seeing the Donaire-Morris unification fight at 122 pounds. And now it seems that Abner Morris has had the last laugh because, you know, he fought on the Showtime 122-pound tournament, looked great, and all everyone kept on saying was Donaire is that much better. Donaire is going to embarrass Morris if they ever fought. Now Donaire gets schooled by Rigadow. Abner Morris moves up to 126 pounds, and a fight that a lot of people thought would be competitive dominates De Leon. And now, from what I've been hearing, might be fighting Santa Cruz next. And what a war that would be. Abner Morris against Leo Santa Cruz, a very fan-friendly fight. And so, you know, sometimes in boxing, when you don't get that fight, you move on to bigger and better things. And this, to me, was a career-defining performance by Abner Morris. And you'll find out next week. With this performance, he definitely cracks my top 10 pound-for-pound list. Very inspiring performance by Abner Morris.
What do you think, Abel? Do you agree? Was that like a amazing performance by Modest?
You know, I agree with everything Ben said and the Prophet said, but to add a couple things to it, I believe just like Floyd Mayweather, I think Morris has settled on a weight that is comfortable for him, that he's not struggling, that he's will create more power, will create more hand speed because he's not killing himself to make the weight. But don't be surprised if his best weight is 130. Just like with Floyd moving up, Floyd is so comfortable at his weight that there's no struggles, and he's able to do everything that he wants to do because he's not struggling with his weight. So I really think that Modest's best weight is going to be at 130, but 126 he looks awful strong. And Ponce de Leon is a very one-dimensional, so you knew what you were going to get from him, but it was surprising to see Modest so effective. 6.
Abel, could you see Modest and Santa Cruz together? Do you think they'd be a good fight?
That'd be a great fight. Actually, I had Leo for about a year in my camp. Had him for 3 fights, I believe. In fact, Ben had Molina fight at Industry Sheraton, my first fight with Leo, and Leo fought on the undercard. Do you remember that, Ben?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
No, Abel used to work with Leo. Yeah.
Yeah, Leo is a great young man, hard worker. He was 18 years old, 19 years old. He's in Big Bear. It's a little difficult for a young man that age to be away from his family and to be away from everything that is normal to him. But great talent, hard worker, and I would pay to see that fight, Amara's Santa Cruz fight, because that's a barn burner.
Well, you hear it here first. Okay, well, maybe that will happen. Or maybe you can put it together. Maybe you could promote it. What do you think, Abel?
Well, you know what? I would definitely be the first one talking about wanting to see it and buying a ticket. So anybody that I talk to, I will definitely mention it because it is a fight that we boxing fans deserve. Because I am a boxing fan other than a trainer. I like to see good fights, and that is a good fight among 2 great young men. I know both of them personally, and I think that it would be a great matchup.
Yeah, I know what I like about listening to you and to listening to Ben and Prophet, you know, because we are all true boxing fans. We want to see real good fights like Hagler and Hearns. We want to see people fight who deserve to fight, not the politics, which is in everything, unfortunately. But let's move on because this has been, for me, my great first show with you guys, but we need to talk about Rosario and Love. Who wants to go first on this one?
I guess I can go first.
Go ahead.
I thought going in, you know, this is politics and this is what boxing fans have to endure. I thought to myself, there's no way in the world Rosario would get the decision unless he scored multiple knockdowns or there was no way he could win unless he knocked out J. Leon Love. and this is no slight at J. Leon Love. It's just he's a protege of Floyd Mayweather, and I thought to myself, he does have boxing skills. Rosado fights in spurts, doesn't fight 3 minutes of every round. As it turned out, so I predicted J. Leon Love would win a very controversial split decision that would have our listeners complaining of a highway robbery. I had J. Leon Love, despite the knockdown, winning by a point. I had it 6 rounds to 4, but with the knockdown, you give Rosado an extra point for the knockdown. I think the turning point was that Rosado gave away too many early rounds. J. Leon Love, to his credit, kept on popping the jab in Rosado's face, and he fought back. I thought Leon Love would run a lot more, but he stood in the trenches, brawled with Rosado in the later rounds. Rosado did win most of the later rounds, but on my scorecard, listen, if you have Rosado winning by a point, J. Leon Love foul, but certainly the judge that had J. Leon Love beating Rosado by 5 points, that's just an example of how political boxing continues to be. There's no way that was a life and death fight for both guys. But, typical political nonsense that one judge, and he should be called out on it. I don't know his name, but there's no way in the world J. Leon Love won that fight by 5 points.
Okay, Ben, what about you? A quick analysis.
Well, what I saw in the fight was that Love, is coming up in the game. He's got a good record, but is in the learning process, and still needs to, learn a little more before you can really solidify, or he can really solidify a spot in as a top middleweight. Because again, the experience, and it showed. Even though I kind of leaned towards Rosado, I wanted to. That was a fight I wanted to really see. Was the fact that I wanted to see how Rosado would come back, because we kind of thought he was a solid opponent for Gennady. So I wanted to see how solid he was with somebody else, and he showed that. He showed that he's got some skills. He's a determined guy. He'll give anybody, and he did, and I thought he won. And I go back to Sam and Abel, the politics of the game, what promotion was doing it, who he's promoted by, and of course they weren't going to, try to hinder his record. So I think that again, Sam, he's right. In fact, where Rosado could have started a little better, I think he kind of played a little bit of cautiousness when he started, and Love showed that little undefeated mentality, I would go, when he started. But then as the fight went on, the experience took over, and then you kind of saw the faults in him. But it was a good fight, and it was, to me, it was a good fight for Rosado. I kind of thought that's what he was when we first saw him, and I seen tapes of him with Abel. That he had some skills, but he just, when he fought Gennady, of course, it's just a different level. But I thought it was a good fight, and it was an interesting fight because I wanted to see if Love was in that level of that competition or that grade. But he showed that there's a little more learning in his upbringing. So let's see if they don't push him a little, try to push him into a little higher level, because I think that he'll get problems there. He'll have problems.
All right. We only have 90 seconds left, and we wanted to mention that Pac-Man is going to box or fight against Rios in Macau, and we have Ricky Burns and Jose Gonzalez fighting on May 11th. With 1 minute left, Prophet, what do you say? Anything?
It's an interesting fight for Ricky Burns because he was supposed to fight in a unification fight against Miguel Vasquez. That didn't take place. Then he was supposed to fight Adrian Bronner. That didn't take place. Now he's fighting an undefeated fighter in Gonzalez. He has a lot of power, but he has no recognizable names on his resume. So I look for Burns to weather a couple of early moments, but win a relatively easy decision victory.
All right. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you know what? We have 30 seconds. Abel, Ben, Prophet, thank you guys so much. It's been a great first show and a 12th show for Real Combat Media. Do you guys have anything that you want to, any sponsors, anything you need to shout out real quick?
Just keep an eye out for Gennady Golovkin, the next superstar in this business. Excellent.
And I just wanted to have a shout out for some of our fans. Vero, Jessica, Alex, Daisy, and Carla, thank you for listening. This has been RealCombatMedia.com. You can follow us at Twitter at Real Combat Media, on Facebook, RealCombatMedia.com. And thanks, and stay tuned for the next show.
Thank you, Krysti.
Thank you very much, Abel. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Prophet.
Good. Don't forget Jojo Diaz, the up-and-coming star. Just starting out, but an up-and-coming star.
They will never forget. All right, you guys. Well, I'll talk later. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.